You know, when we think about cleaning up our planet, our minds usually go straight to trees, right? But what if that's only half the story? What if the real secret isn't just planting more trees, but in a powerful partnership that's happening right under our feet? A living system where the soil and the trees work as one.
So, that leads us to the big question we're tackling today. Can we actually build a massive living filter for our planet? Can we use nature's own technology to heal some of the most polluted places on Earth? Let's get into it. But first, to really get why this matters, we have to understand what we're up against. And for a lot of us in cities, the enemy is this invisible cloud of pollution that has a very real and very dangerous impact on our health. Okay, take a look at these numbers. They come from a study in Nigeria, and they are just staggering. We're talking about PM 2.5. That's the really nasty, tiny stuff that gets deep into your lungs. The World Health Organization says the limit should be 15. But Lagos? It's at 72. That is almost 5 times the recommended limit. This isn't just data on a chart, this is a serious public health crisis.
So what do we do? Well, that same study found this, a strong negative correlation of negative 0.68 between green spaces and respiratory illnesses. Now in plain English, that just means more trees, fewer sick people. So the solution seems obvious, right? Just plant more trees.
Well, here's the twist. It turns out that simple, intuitive answer, it's actually pretty flawed. Because sometimes just planting more trees isn't enough. In fact, sometimes it can actually make things a whole lot worse. For a long time, the old way of thinking was just about quantity. More trees, better planet. We'd plant them anywhere, even on old, contaminated industrial sites. But the new hypothesis? It's a total game changer. It says, hold on, the soil has to be healthy first. You can't just shove a tree into toxic ground and expect a miracle. The tree and the soil, they're one system. And get this quote from Forest Research really spells out the problem. It says that planting trees in the wrong kind of soil can actually stir up nasty stuff like heavy metals, making them more likely to poison our water. So the very solution we were counting on could actually be making the problem worse. It's wild. So think of it this way, a tree planted in contaminated soil, it's basically trying to run a marathon while breathing through a tiny straw. It's trying so hard to do its job, to absorb carbon, to filter the air, but it's just being choked by the toxic ground it's living in. It just can't work properly. So if our tree is this struggling runner, who can help it out? Well, this brings us to a really unlikely hero, a solution from nature's very own cleanup crew, fungi. The fancy scientific name for this is microremediation. Myco means fungus and remediation just means to fix something. It's all about using fungi to restore balance to an ecosystem. See, fungi are nature's great recyclers, and it turns out we can use that superpower to clean up our own messes.
And you will not believe the kind of messes they can clean up. The power these fungi have is just incredible. They can break down heavy metals like lead and mercury, petroleum from oil spills, nasty pesticides, industrial dyes, even pharmaceuticals that get into our water. They are absolute masters of chemistry.
Okay, but here's where it all clicks. The real magic isn't just in the fungi, and it isn't just in the trees. It's in the powerful partnership they create together. It's a true symbiotic system. So here's how it works. First, you introduce the right kind of fungi to the contaminated soil, and they get to work, breaking down all the toxins. Then, once the soil is clean, you plant the trees. After that, this amazing natural network, called the mycorrhizal network, forms between the fungi and the tree roots. And from that point on, they operate as one single, super efficient living filter. It's incredible. So let's go back to our marathon runner, right? The struggling tree. What this process does is it basically gives that runner an oxygen mask and a totally clear track. By using fungi to clean the soil first, we let the tree finally breathe, we empower it to run at full speed, to absorb the maximum carbon it can, and to truly clean the air, just the way it was meant to. Now this all sounds unbelievably promising, and believe me, it is. But taking an idea like this from a controlled lab and applying it to a huge, messy, real-world contaminated site, well, that comes with its own set of challenges. I mean, the real world is messy, right? Every single contaminated site is different. You've got different mixes of pollutants, different soil types, different climates. So scaling this up means we have to figure out how to deliver the exact right fungi across these huge, varied landscapes. It's a massive logistical puzzle that we still need to solve.
Still, it leaves you with this incredible thought. We spend so much time and money looking for these complicated, high-tech fixes for our problems. But what if one of the most powerful keys to healing our entire planet has been here the whole time, hidden away in the quiet, amazing biology of a simple mushroom?
And this amazing, innovative idea of creating a living, symbiotic filter to help restore our environment, it comes from the incredible work being done at Vario One.